Learn from stars and heroes of the Dubai business world. Welcome to the Dubai Business Podcast, produced by Jayed. Now, here's your host, Lukas Krejca.
Hello, Dubai business owners. Welcome to this bonus episode of Dubai Business Podcast. Today, we're going to speak about marketing plans and its importance for your business. Marketing plan has been around for centuries probably, and if any of you studied marketing, then probably you know more than above the theories how marketing plan is important. But the reality is that nowadays we keep forgetting about it, and we basically keep dismissing it, and we rather jump straight to launching random campaigns or having some social media profiles or sending random emails, things like this, and then we wonder why it doesn't bear any results. So that's why I decided to put together this episode. Actually, last week I even happened to have a training about this topic with over 50 startup founders. Receive a great feedback about it. So it seems like this topic is really important. It's also a reason why at We Speak Digital we are shifting from specific video courses about specific tactics to a program for startups about how to build and create a digital marketing plan for your startup. So that's the topic, and we'll dive right into it. Let me start with a story about a client I was speaking with last week. She just launched her e-commerce business. She's totally new to the industry, never worked in marketing, never done anything online. So it's all things are new. But she did an awesome job launching a nice website. She has a beautiful products there. So the first boxes are ticked, and it seems really promising for her. Now she reached a stage when she's kind of launching the startup. She's launching her e-commerce website, and she wants to get the first traffic. That was actually last month, and she reached out to an agency who claimed to be an expert for e-commerce in UAE. At least that's what they say. This agency, what they did, they basically advised her to launch a Facebook advertising campaign and said that you are a new business, so we need to drive you impressions first to kind of create awareness about your brand. That's what will then get you first customers, because you are a new business, so you need to get that. So what happened is they launched one campaign or a few campaigns which were mainly aiming to deliver those impressions. And that's what she got. She got a lot of impressions, hundreds of thousands, probably millions of impressions, because getting impressions on Facebook or Instagram, that's not a big deal. That's not a magic. There's nothing hard about it. Probably a 10 years old kid would be able to do that. But that's not what drives business to your company, right? If you're e-commerce, then getting impression doesn't really get you anywhere. And now I can hear you. Some of you might be thinking, wait, Lucas, but she's new business. She needs to do this brand awareness. She definitely does. But being a startup, having a limited budget, you need to think about where you put this budget very, very carefully and not be just launching random campaigns. What is the big problem here is that the digital marketing agency basically didn't even ask about some marketing plan, about strategy, and didn't even think about it at all. They just launched one isolated campaign, which is okay, delivering some impression, but then what? What will happen then? How the brand will then get the customer from the impression down through the funnel to purchasing products from their website? How will they do it? If we launch only one campaign which is delivering impression, I don't really drive people down the funnel. I'm just getting impressions. And nowadays, with hundreds, thousands of companies advertising on Facebook and Instagram, with our attention span of humans being less than a few seconds, getting impression doesn't really mean much for your brand. That doesn't really mean that someone will remember your brand, and once they need that product you show them in the ad, they will come directly and they will buy a product from you. It doesn't work this way anymore, and barely it has. Maybe it didn't work this way, no, never before, but nowadays definitely doesn't work this way. The reason is that the users need a lot of touch points with the brand, especially with the new brand where there's lack of trust, there's no credibility. So users need something like 40, 50, 60 touch points with this brand. And if you just deliver one impression, that's just one touch point. How do you get those another 30 to 50 touch points you need to get to persuade user to buy something from you as a new brand? That's what marketing plan is about. That's why you need to start with a marketing plan. And now marketing plan doesn't have to be a thing they probably taught us at the universities, that it should be like 50 pages document full of fluffy stuff. No, marketing plan can be something simple, actionable, something that will drive your actions. Marketing plan should basically tell you how you will drive the user from the top of the funnel to the button where they will convert. How you will make the people who never heard about your brand, how you will make them convert. What are the steps? What are the touch points you will build along the way that the users will first get to know about your brand, then they will start trusting your brand, and then they will go and buy products or services from you. That's what this marketing plan about. Marketing plan should connect all your marketing channels together to make sure they're kind of aiming towards one single goal. That is getting the customer from top of the funnel down to buy products from you. If you focus just on one channel, or if you launch one random campaign on Facebook, then you launch another campaigns on Google, then you kind of have very siloed channels. And those channels don't work together. Those channels don't share any data. Those channels kind of don't cooperate. So it needs to be you behind the computer who's connecting those things together, who's connecting the dots together, and who's building that user journey through the funnel. It needs to be you, and the way you do it, it's through marketing plan. Again, that's why it is important, and that's why I believe before you start launching your first campaign on Facebook or Google, the first thing you need to do is to create this marketing plan. And again, it doesn't have to be something complicated. Marketing plan is not about writing a long text. No, marketing plan is supposed to be practical. Marketing plan should be saying, the users on top of the funnel, this is how I communicate to them, this is what I want to communicate to them, and these are the channels and tactics I will use to it. Then once I move the users to the, let's say, middle of the funnel, these are the tactics I will use to reach those users, this is the message I will deliver them, and this is how I will measure if this mid of the funnel is successful. And then I will move them to the bottom of the funnel where the users want to purchase. This is how I will target users who are in the buying mode, who are ready to buy from me, who've already heard about my brand because I targeted them before. And these are the channels I will use at that moment. These are the tactics I will use. This is the message I will communicate. And this is how I will measure this stage. And that's it. That's how you build a very simple marketing plan. This is not a rocket science. You don't need to overcomplicate things. But if you skip this step at the beginning, you're basically going to run with your eyes closed. And maybe you will hit the right way, maybe not, but definitely in the long term, you are very likely to be struggling to get people buying from you. And even if it happens from the beginning that you get the customers, once you want to scale, you will very soon hit some limits. And those limits will basically not let you scale your brand further. So let's get back to the drawing board and let's think about what our plan is. Your plan shouldn't be launching random campaigns on Facebook. Your plan shouldn't be launching random campaign to Google. Your plan shouldn't be having TikTok because your friend told you it's cool. Your plan shouldn't be now start sending random emails. Your plan shouldn't be anything else which is not planned. Your plan should be how you drive the users from top of the funnel to the bottom of the funnel, how you make those users convert. That's what you need to do now. And if you happen to be at the beginning of the startup journey or you're launching your product, let me also add 2 more tips which came up during this consultation with this client. And you don't hear these things from me for the first time. However, it is still happening in our market and things are not changing very much, unfortunately. So 2 tips or 2 things to be aware of. First of all, this agency doesn't bother to give my client, give this client access to her ad accounts. So she's paying the agency money, she's paying money to Facebook, but she doesn't see for what. She's just getting some reports from the agency and she needs to trust them that the numbers they are saying are valid. Well, let me tell you what, if you are not transparent to me by showing me the ad account itself, I will not trust you a word. You are not transparent, you are probably scammer. So be very careful about this. If you are working with someone who doesn't give you direct access to your ad account, probably there's something to hide. Otherwise, they would give you the access. And ideally, you want to be the owner of that ad account and giving them the access. You are the client, you are the brand, you need to own your data. On our website, you can find a long article just about this. So there's no need to go to details. But you, as a client, as a brand, you need to own your ad account. Then you give access to the agency to run your ads if you want to. Second thing the agency didn't bother to do was installing Facebook Pixel. And let me remind you, this is e-commerce website. So having a Facebook Pixel is the one step you need to do to even have a chance to succeed on Facebook. Like if you don't have Facebook Pixel, don't even try to advertise on Facebook. That's waste of money. Absolute waste of money. Like if you take this money and give it to someone on the street, probably you will make more good than investing money on Facebook without having Facebook Pixel installed. So if you don't have Facebook Pixel installed, go now, install it on your website, then only start thinking about advertising on Facebook or Instagram. And if you are working with agency who are telling you that they are kind of specialists in e-commerce in the UAE and they don't bother to install your Facebook Pixel, please just go and find another agency. You will find a few who know what they're doing, but if someone doesn't bother to install Facebook Pixel, then they're totally missing the basics. And if they don't care about these things, then there's no chance that they will add something to your business. So that's in a nutshell. Let me sum it up. First of all, let's get back to basics and let's think of our marketing plan. Let's stop this madness where we go right or left totally randomly and we are launching campaigns which are totally disconnected. Let's get back to basics. Let's connect it to one simple marketing plan, which will identify how we are planning to move the users from top of the funnel to the bottom of the funnel and convert them to our paying customers. So that's the important message of this short bonus episode. I hope you found it useful. And if this topic is somehow relevant to you, you want to discuss it more, at We Speak Digital, we just launched a program for entrepreneurs and startups, which is basically activation of the digital marketing plan. So if this is something interesting for you, just reach out to us and I'll be happy to speak with you.
This was the Dubai Business Podcast produced by Jayid. Follow us on your favorite podcast platform and on social media at jayid.co/podcast. That's JAYID.co/podcast.